Hello and welcome to another quadcopter unboxing video. Today we have the X5C-1 by Syma. This is the upgraded version on the standard X5C. That particular quadcopter had some stability issues, so then Syma have brought out this version, and hopefully those stability issues have gone. I'm sure we'll see though in the flight video. If the flight video has been done by the time you're watching this, then I'll put a little annotation in this video where you can just click the button and go directly to the flight. Okay, so let's open her up and have a look and see what we've got. Okay. Okay, so we have, I don't know why they aren't on there. There we go, it's quite strange. Right. So as you can see, we have the quadcopter and we have the transmitter. Okay, so it looks quite standard, looks quite sturdy, well packaged. So let's have a little look at the quadcopter first. So Syma quadcopters, one thing I do like about them is they are quite sturdy. They're not too small and they're not too large. What I like to call a perfect size for a quadcopter. The only downside that I think is that they are very, very light. So if you are flying them, make sure that you fly them in a place in quite an open ground, and obviously make sure there's not a lot of wind out there, otherwise you are going to find that the quadcopter itself does vanish quite quickly. So first impressions are quite good actually. The quadcopter does seem very sturdy in hand. There are 4 LEDs, 2 red and 2 green. These would be able to show you, one colour would show you which way you're flying, whether it be the front or the back, the front in this case being the orange. Another thing that shows us that is obviously the camera pointing the one way, and then the green lights then are at the back of the quadcopter. So that's also very handy. So should you be turning it at the same time and you are at quite an altitude, you should be able to see which way you are filming, because this particular quadcopter does not offer FPV or first person video. So the motors are open, there's no bays on those, so please be careful, don't crash. Well, don't crash at all if you can, not like me. If you are going to land this, please don't, please be aware of your surroundings. Don't land this in any tall grass or in any grass that might be wet, or even worse, any water or mud, because if anything gets in there, the chance of breakage might be quite high indeed. I should imagine you can see the little screws on the arms here of the quadcopter. You should be able to just take it apart and clean everything out, but that's not a 100% recommended way. The recommended way is not to crash it, but then hopefully that won't happen. So on the back of the camera you get a little 4GB SD card, which is always handy. So if you're anything like me, you always forget to buy the SD cards, and then you always get quite disappointed when you try to record and oh, there's nothing to record onto. Okay, so opening the camera, should be the battery bay on the bottom. So this battery is a 3.7 volt standard quadcopter battery, 500 milliamp hour. The battery bay itself is quite sizable, so you might be able to get upgraded batteries in there. There is a little bit of wiggle room inside there. So the battery itself obviously has a little cable on it, so the cable itself will be used for charging and also powering the quadcopter. So once you've got the battery in the quadcopter, there is only one way the cable can be inserted, and then once you have inserted it, it takes a little push, but then you do get, there we are, it is quite stiff going in, so you can't force that, and then there's no chance of breakage. So let's just close that battery bay. As I've just noticed, or when closing that, the back piece here is very fragile, so again, be careful. You might want to just put one finger on the camera back and one finger on the bay and just push in gently, again making sure the SD card doesn't pop out and you don't break the plastic there. So turning it on, wow, those are quite bright. So you can see that the camera has an LED. You have the orange LEDs at the front and you have the green LEDs at the back. This particular quadcopter I haven't calibrated, as it's the first time getting it out of the box. So obviously these lights are, oh there we are, they're changing. Once calibrated, the lights should stay solid, and then hopefully every single time you plug it on, you may not have to calibrate it. So I'm going to turn this off quickly and just unplug this cable to save what little battery is in it. What I would recommend is once you get the quadcopter, just plug the battery in and just give it a charge, because even though there is a little bit of charge inside the battery, there's not going to be a lot. And I know how excited you could be on your first flight, but of course you don't want to damage the quadcopter in flying mid-air when the battery runs out. So the landing skids have been fitted on this automatically. In some models these are off the quadcopter and these have to be fitted separately. There doesn't look as if there are any screws, so these would just be push in and clip in. So there we go, that's the quadcopter. Now let's talk about the transmitter. Now I should imagine on most box opening videos you would see that the little polystyrene cubes are on the transmitter itself. Don't know why mine weren't, but not really much of a big deal. So looking at the controller, we can see that there's some buttons down the bottom here. These buttons are fake. Maybe this controller is used for other Syma quadcopters, and maybe these buttons are used in other copters. In this particular one, they serve absolutely no purpose whatsoever. We have a little LCD screen at the bottom. This will give you the voltage left inside the transmitter, and obviously if you're using too much thrust or anything, you should have a little diagram down here of the quadcopter. So you've got on the left, you've got throttle. You can see this quadcopter hasn't been built with a barometer, and what tells us that is that this left trigger here doesn't automatically go back into the middle like it does on the right here. With the quadcopters that do have the barometer built in, if you were to bring that down and let go, it would auto-correct itself and just correct itself back to the center. Okay, so you've got your up and down trim, left and right trim. You've got your button on and off. Doesn't feel too sturdy, so may want to be careful with that. On the back, we've got the battery bay, little Phillips screwdriver. Just pop that off before you pop the batteries in. Once the batteries are in, you can't charge the batteries from this, so if you are using rechargeables, you have to take them out, plug them into the charger that came with the batteries. If you are using normal batteries, please don't recharge those, but there is no way to charge off this particular transmitter. You've got two shoulder buttons for your photo and your video. This particular quadcopter doesn't offer return to home, doesn't offer FPV, so you won't be able to monitor or see what the quadcopter sees as you fly. But even though it has got a camera built in, once you land the quadcopter and take the SD card out, you will be able to then obviously see what you have recorded on the flight. In this LCD panel as well, you will have, once you're recording video, you'll have a little video sign that just pops up to show you that you are recording. There is also an audible sound as well. So that's all from the quadcopter and from the transmitter. Let's have a look at the accessories. So on the underside there are some prop guards, little Phillips screw, just screw into the, I don't know if you can see that there, just to screw into the one hole there, and these two holes either side. These two holes are used just with little plastic dowels that will just fit into there. The prop guards are useful if you're in a wooded area, which I wouldn't recommend you flying a quadcopter unless you're quite skilled at flying it. In a wooded area, you might want to take off the prop guards because it's just an extra thing to get stuck into a tree. Trust me, I should know. One of my other videos on this feed does actually show my JD509 quadcopter get stuck in a 35-foot tree, which my friend had to go up and climb the tree to get back after it being up there for 5 days. Anyway, I digress. So yes, you've got replacement for propellers as well, which is also handy, even though these do feel quite sturdy. Once again, the warning signs are stuck, they are printed on, not stuck on, so you can't remove them. And then the last accessory pack is this little one. Comes with USB charger, the SD card, the micro SD card holder, and USB pen. You plug in. This is how you get your videos off the SD card, and a screwdriver for the transmitter, and obviously the same screwdriver, same style Phillips connection on the screw there to screw it into the quadcopter. So there you have it. So this quadcopter set me back £32 from Amazon. I had it delivered, it took, I think it was 1 day to get here, and the next video that I do is going to be the flying video. So hopefully there might be a little link that just pops up across the bottom of this video. If not, then I probably haven't added it yet. Well, thank you once again for watching. If you've got any comments, please leave it at the bottom. Please subscribe and like the video if, of course, you do like it. Any questions, just leave them in the comments below, and I shall try, as always, to answer them to the best of my ability. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.